May 6, 1937. Lakehurst, New Jersey. A crowd of reporters, photographers, and families stand on the tarmac, necks craned to the sky. They're waiting for a giant, the largest flying machine ever built by human hands. In exactly 37 seconds, it will become a fireball, and nobody in that crowd will know why. To understand how something this size ever got off the ground, you have to understand Germany in the 1930s. The Nazi government wanted a symbol, something to prove that Germany could still build the biggest, the fastest, the most impressive machines on Earth. So they built the LZ-129 Hindenburg, 804 feet long, longer than 3 football fields, filled with 7 million cubic feet of gas. It had a dining room, a lounge, a smoking room, yes, a smoking room, on a ship filled with flammable gas, and we'll come back to that. Sleeping cabins, a baby grand piano made of aluminum to save weight. This wasn't just an airship, it was a flying luxury hotel, and it was supposed to be filled with helium, a safe, non-flammable gas. But there was a problem. The United States controlled almost the entire world's helium supply, and US law banned exporting it to Nazi Germany. So the engineers had no choice. They filled the Hindenburg with hydrogen instead, cheap, plentiful, and one of the most explosive gases on the planet. On May 3rd, 1937, the Hindenburg lifted off from Frankfurt, Germany, bound for Lakehurst, New Jersey. 36 passengers, 61 crew. Among them, businessmen, a returning American family, and an acrobat performer heading home from a European tour. For most of the journey, it was calm. Passengers sipped champagne. They watched the ocean pass beneath them at 1,000 feet. Captain Max Pruss circled the airfield, waiting for a break in the thunderstorms. Finally, around 7 p.m., ground control gave the signal. Conditions were clear enough. Bring her down. Nobody on board had any idea this would be the last hour of their lives. By 7:21 p.m., the Hindenburg was approaching its mooring mast, nose first, about 200 feet off the ground. Ropes dropped from the ship. Ground crews grabbed them. It was 7:25 p.m. Witnesses on the ground later said they saw a strange rippling on the fabric near the tail, a flicker, then a small flame. It took less than 5 seconds for that flicker to become an inferno. In 37 seconds, the entire 804-foot airship was consumed by fire. 7 million cubic feet of hydrogen gas ignited almost instantly. The tail dropped first, crashing to the ground as flames tore through the frame toward the nose. Inside, passengers and crew were thrown against walls as the ship buckled. Some leapt from windows 50, 60 feet in the air rather than be caught in the fire. Ground crew members who had been holding the mooring ropes ran directly toward the wreckage, not away from it, pulling survivors from the flaming skeleton of the ship. And through it all, Herbert Morrison's radio broadcast was capturing every second live. His voice cracking, he said the words that would define this disaster forever. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, and it was, he said, one of the worst catastrophes in the world. The entire disaster, from first spark to the ship hitting the ground, took less than a minute. Remarkably, of the 97 people on board, 62 survived, but 35 people on the airship died, along with one member of the ground crew. Many survivors suffered severe burns from jumping through flaming debris. The world was stunned, not just by the deaths, but because it had all happened on camera. Newsreel footage and photographs of the burning Hindenburg were published everywhere within days. It became one of the first disasters in history that the public didn't just read about, they watched it happen. Investigators spent months trying to figure out what caused the spark. Some believed it was static electricity building up as the ship passed through the damp, stormy air. Others suspected a leak in the hydrogen cells. There were even conspiracy theories about sabotage, that someone opposed to the Nazi government had planted a bomb. To this day, no one knows for certain what caused that very first flicker of flame. The Hindenburg disaster ended the era of passenger airships almost overnight. No one would trust hydrogen-filled giants in the sky again. What started as a symbol of engineering triumph became, in 37 seconds, a symbol of how fragile human ambition really is. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more real-life disasters that changed history forever. And let me know in the comments, what do you think really caused that spark?